Welcome back, Sethling here. Minecraft Snapshot 13w36a has just been released, and it is a doozy. This is an example of the new amplified terrain feature in Minecraft Snapshot 13w36a, and it just creates some really epic stuff. It uses the full terrain height up to 256, and this is just one small thing that is in the snapshot that makes it so cool. There's also entirely new biomes, bunch of new flowers. You can see there's new flowers over here, new types of terrain, and there's a ton of new map making features and just general awesome features for players. So I'm going to go over all that stuff. This is the amplified terrain generator, and I just wanted to show you guys this first because it is the most epic part in my opinion. The terrain generator has received a complete overhaul, and for instance, there are now super biomes in which there reside smaller biomes. And you can see a sample image that Jeb tweeted out here of the super biomes, and then you have the sub biomes within them. And there's new types of stuff. There's like pine trees and extreme hills. There's a disco biome, which is like cliffs made out of all different kinds of layers of blocks, and oceans have become smaller due to some people complaining. Now, some people like bigger oceans, but you know, you can't please everyone. The four categories of super biome are snowy, cold, medium, and dry/warm. So you don't have desert next to icy tundra anymore. And so you have like savannas and taigas, mesas, different kinds of forests. There's a black forest with dense trees that spawn lots of mobs. There's a flowery forest I've seen while flying around. All kinds of new stuff. Very, very cool, and it should add a lot of spiciness to exploring. So besides the terrain gen, there's actually a lot of other new features that are really, really awesome, especially for people in creative mode, custom map makers and the like. So the first thing I want to go over, well, I'll get to that in a bit, that there's just some particles. First thing I want to go over is this summon command, which is very, very cool. You can summon an entity. So here I have a cow, and it's spawning a specific set of coordinates. If you use /summon and then you press tab, you can see a list of all the different types of entities that you can spawn with that command. And so there's pretty much all of them are there. And not only can you spawn the entities, but you can actually give them custom data. So like, I can summon a giant, which is a type of entity that was previously pretty hard to get in the game, and I can summon it riding a bat. So if I press this, we get a giant riding a bat. You'll notice the bat kind of spawned inside the command block. So you can set the coordinates of where it's going to spawn. I use tilde tilde tilde, which means spawn it at the coordinates of the command block. So yeah, you can set. This is basically using custom NBT data, if you know what that means. And you can take it to ridiculous levels. Over here, Last username, who I believe is still on the server. Hey, Last. Hi. He wrote this long, huge command that, well, we'll see in a sec what it does. Let me just scroll through it all. There's a certain limit to how long you can make commands, and this kind of pushes the limit. But here we go. So a command block actually spawned this whole stack of slimes, and they're all just riding each other. It looks really awesome. So thanks, Last, for programming that in. Yep. And so the summon command is going to be really useful. You can do basically anything you can do with custom NBT tags, you can do with this. And so you can set the mob's health, and you can give them armor to wear, all kinds of really awesome stuff. So very, very, very useful for map makers. These can basically do anything that custom spawners could do before, except they're a little bit limited by the length of the command. But otherwise, they can do a whole lot. So that's really cool. The give command was given some similar improvements. You can now put custom NBT tags on the things you give the player with the give command. So here I have a give command that spawns in a potion, and if I press this, it'll give me a potion. This potion is called Jumper. It has the lore that says makes you jump If I splash it and then jump, you know, I have the jump boost effect. There's this cool new like particle feature, which I think looks really awesome. When you land after falling pretty far, if you look on the command block, I think it looks especially cool. Kind of takes on the particle, like the texture of the block that you land on. But yeah, so I spawned in using this command block, a custom potion using an effect that you couldn't previously get in the game without using external MBT editors. So this will allow you to actually do things that were not previously possible in the game, which is awesome. Here's another example of a piece of armor with 2 enchantments. Now, in this case, I have enchantment ID 0, which is protection, and it's level 3. And then there's ID 1, which is fire protection, level 2. And so if I press this button, you'll see I have a protection 3, fire protection 2 diamond chestplate that I spawned in. So we were able to do stuff like this before with spawners spawning the custom items, but being able to give these items to players no matter where they are in the world is brand new, and it's very, very useful for a map maker to be able to do that for a variety of reasons. Alright, so next I had Disco. He was on the server a little bit earlier. You can see his name in the sidebar. Disco came on and he wanted to showcase this thing. There's these tooltips now. The item frames when you... Oh, that didn't work. Uh-oh, I broke it. Sorry, Disco. So there's easy, medium, and super mental, insane, hard, insane. There's also this on/off thing, and if you turn the lever, you can see what it does. But if you put a named item in an item frame and look at the item frame, you can see that name. Now, I guess I was in creative mode, and that's why I did it. But when you hit an item, when you hit an item frame now, it just pops out the item, which is, I think, pretty useful. It's a lot easier to deal with item frames that way. So I like that. It's a little update to that. Let's see what's next. We have weighted pressure plates. These were modified a little bit. Previously, these used to only respond to items, so they would basically, the more items you tossed on, there's 3, 4. So you can see as I add on more items, the strength of the power, the strength of the output. That's weird. Was increasing. Oh, I think it's decreasing because when they all stack up in one stack, it decreases. I'm not sure, but anyway, so now it actually detects players as well and all entities, just like any wooden pressure plate or stone. Well, stone pressure plates only detect certain entities. I'm going to teleport you to me last, so I can demonstrate. Yeah. So when there's 2 players on it, it has a strength of 2. When there's only 1 player on it, it only has a strength of 1. So you can actually detect the number of players on a pressure plate, and this is something you can build in survival mode. So that's pretty cool, I guess. Still not sure there's a ton of uses for it, but and honestly, I kind of like the fact that there were pressure plates that only detected items. But I don't know. I'm sure people will find uses for this as well. So. All right, so there are some cool features in the options menu now that were added. If you go ahead and look at the, where are we? Music and sounds, there's now these adjustable values for a bunch of different kinds of sounds, friendly animals, enemy monsters, players. So you can really customize your sound levels, and if you think the scary monsters are too scary or something, you know, turn their sound down. That's cool. And they made jukeboxes twice as loud too, and you can control the sound on those. So I think that's good. The control menu is way better now. I think they added this touchscreen mode, and I'm not sure the sensitivity was here. This is for the mouse sensitivity. But there's also like hotbar slots. I think the coolest thing about this is the sprint. The sprint one is set to left control right now. So if I go back to my game and I hold down that sprint modifier, I can sprint without having to double tap anything, and it's just way easier. You're way more likely to actually get that sprint to engage, you know, and that's pretty cool. I think that's long overdue. People have been requesting that for quite a while, so very, very cool. Yeah, and like I said, when you land, there's particles. Okay, I got this piece of water in front of me. That's for fishing. There are some big improvements to fishing, and frankly, I think it's 100 times better now. So you can see there's kind of all these splash effects around, and it's kind of on sandstone sometimes, and that's kind of a bug, I'm pretty sure. Now you saw there was something that like water particles heading towards my lure. Yeah, you can see them over there. They're coming for my lure. Yeah, get it. But I only got the normal fish there. It's a little bit buggy though. You can see it's floating above the water. I don't think it's supposed to be doing that. And these water particles coming off the sandstone are probably also a bug. But I'm sure with time that stuff will be fixed. And just waiting for one more, see if I can catch something a little bit more sexy than raw fish. Maybe. Oh, we got something. What's it? No, raw fish. Well, I'll show you the other kinds of stuff you can catch in a minute. There's this new kind of packed ice. It's this one. If you look in the creative menu, whoops, packed ice. It's like regular ice, except it's opaque and it doesn't melt when it's next to torches. I don't know if that part's a bug, but it also, you can see the items slide along just fine on it, and I think they slide about the same distance as on regular ice. So it's just I guess more resilient form of ice. It's probably used in some new biomes. I'm not really sure. Now there's this dirt with ID value 1. So if you use give Sethling 3 whatever quantity 1, you'll get this modified dirt, and this stuff is kind of cool because it doesn't get overgrown by grass, and so that's useful to people, map makers, or people that want to make custom terrain. I speculate that it's being used in the custom terrain generators, or the new terrain generators, so that the biomes with a lot of dirt won't get overrun by the grass from the plains biomes next to them or whatever. There's this weird, what's this even called? Podzol stuff that I guess appears in some redwood forests. And then here's all the flowers. There's a ton of new flowers. And you have some kind of taller flowers that get that you can get by using bone meal on the shorter versions of the flowers. And there's like tall grass that you can get by using bone meal on short grass, and they also spawn naturally. Now the sunflower, I believe it points towards the sun, so I'm going to go ahead and try and set the time to I don't know, 9,000, and maybe I'm wrong. I had thought it was supposed to do that, but well, that's embarrassing. Anyway, so I guess the sunflower just points in one direction. Maybe just face... Oh, I think, you know what? I think it faces east all the time. Or is it F3? Yeah, facing east. So that's what it does. Now I actually remember this. I saw them tweet about it. Okay, let's show you the fish. These are different kind of fish. There's raw salmon and cooked salmon. And then there's clownfish and pufferfish. I'm not really sure what clownfish is for. I tried eating it, and it heals half hunger bar. Doesn't really seem to do anything else. You can't cook it. Pufferfish poisons you, but you can also use it as the brewing recipe for the potion of water breathing. Yeah, which is newly craftable. One thing I actually forgot to mention, I have this enchantment on my fishing rod. It's got Lure 3. There's actually a couple new books of enchanting, or I guess types of enchantments that apply to fishing rods. So you got Lure and Luck of the Sea. Those are the two new types of enchantments. So I guess you can get those by just normal enchanting. And then the last thing that I have to demonstrate right here is book copying, and this is really cool. I think you can use a written book, signed book, alongside a book and quill, and you can copy it to any number of those book and quills. And so that's a nice way to copy and paste a lot of information quickly. And yeah, I mean that's most of the features I wanted to show. There's a couple others I can mention. There's resource packs. There's a new interface here for that, where you can have multiple resource packs. So if you have, say, a sound pack and a texture pack, you can put both in and they're not going to conflict with each other, and you can have both the sounds and the textures. So pretty cool. Now I know they made a lot of changes to the code base for this version, and I know that Grum made a bunch of changes that 50,000 lines of code were changed apparently. So that sounds kind of ridiculous to me. So I'm guessing that stuff like mods will have a hard time adapting to all the new stuff, and also plugin or Bucket will probably take some time to update as well. But so that's one thing. But I think they're moving closer to where they can actually start to work on the modding API. A lot of the changes that they seem to have made have, for instance, made it a lot easier to use this custom data, which is going to be really useful for modding. So hopefully we'll start to see some progress on the modding API pretty soon here. Now, last, I see you've been playing around with stuff while I've been recording. Have you found anything new that should be in this video?
Yes, I have.
Oh, let's hear it.
The when pigs fly objective. Hold on.
Yeah, you can also. Oh, I did forget to mention. There's an achievement command. You can use achievement give, and you can. There's all these stats and achievements that you can give to the player. I'm not gonna go through them all, but you can use tab completion to get him. Oh, actually, I also missed the. Oh, I had the. Okay, let's do your thing first, and then I'll go to mine.
Come on, pig.
Okay.
Let's go.
Oh. They never do it when you want it to. Oh, get on. So when he falls off, I guess. Okay, so the scoreboard. Okay, I see. So the scoreboard is now displaying that you have that achievement.
We can now make pig suicide minigames.
And it does it once every time that you fall off. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome. So that's really cool. And then there's also scoreboard achievements. This is something I totally forgot to mention. Scoreboard objectives, set display, sidebar, iron pick. So this is a scoreboard objective that measures how many times you've used an iron pick. So every time I mine, you can see I have 12, 13, 14, 15, etc. And you can also set, so scoreboard, players set, Seth playing, iron pick 0. I can set my objective there to 0. So this actually can be used for a whole lot more than just iron picks. If I scoreboard objectives, add whatever, and then I use tab completion, you can see a whole huge giant list of all the new. In fact, you can't even see them all because they go past the limit of the history in the chat dialogue. But you can see there's like stats for like using items. That's what I have for the iron pick. But there's like crafting items. Whoops. Crafting items, and you can use the item ID 257 is it's a gold pick, I think. And what else are there? There's crafting, there's mining, and there's using. And so you can keep track of all these killing entities. There's like killing, when you kill a cave spider, you get an achievement. So you can actually track how many of each different mob players have killed. And so you could use like scoreboard systems to give currencies based on killing different mobs and all these crazy things. I'm definitely going to be making more videos about that. So I'm not going to cover it too in depth right now. You can play around with it for yourself for sure. But there is so much in this snapshot for map makers and all kinds of technically inclined people everywhere. Anything else though before I close it out? Last.
Nope, that's it.
All right, cool.
For now.
Well, thanks.
Got some
Thank you.
ideas, but
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll be seeing more over the coming days and weeks. Thank you, Last Username, for helping out with the video. We experimented together. Thanks to FV Disco as well, and as to Juki. And apparently nobody is also on that scoreboard. But yeah, I'll definitely be making more stuff with this, with these, all these new features. I'll be making lots of filters and all kinds of interesting stuff. But that's all I got for now. Thanks for watching.